next guest. Watch tonight's debate with a unique perspective. He was married to one of the former president's closest advisors. Trump calls him a total loser. Please welcome George Conway. First of all, I like what you've done with your hair.
Thank you.
Yes, you look good. How are you?
Like you.
Thank you. What'd you think of the debate tonight?
That was just the beatdown of the sort that I don't think I've ever seen in a presidential debate or any debate. I mean, it was just brutal.
I'm glad he said that because, I haven't, we came right on, we did the show, I haven't had a chance to watch everybody's reaction, but my reaction was, oh, man, that was bad for Donald Trump.
Oh, it was bad. I mean, she was perfect, pitch perfect. I mean, she handled him. Everything from the moment she walked on stage and basically went right up to him.
I was hoping she would.
Right,
do that.
she, said not afraid of him, and
she shook his hand.
And then she shook his hand, and he was like, and then, and she had to hold on, but she, and then she said she kept looking at him the whole time, like, are you okay?
Yeah. It was like,
and then there was the what the did he say?
Yeah. There were a couple of moments that
the looks were great, and he would not look at her. And it's like it was a total power play on him.
Interesting, yeah. And he self-destructed in so many ways. You've been in many of his debates because, as I mentioned, you were married to Kellyanne Conway, who was his campaign manager.
Well, I learned a lot from those debates. I did not learn that he was such an expert in fertilization.
He knows.
I'm not sure I wanted to know that.
And not just when it comes to human embryos. You put him in the yard, he can make anything grow.
But yeah, no, I saw a few debates in 16.
The last time you were here, you called him a narcissistic sociopath. Is that correct?
Yes.
You've since amended that to psychopath.
Well, no, he's a narcissistic sociopath. He's a psychopath. He's a malignant narcissist. All these, it's like a Venn diagram, right? Remember those from school? All of those circles kind of coincide. Narcissist, sociopath, they coincide. Donald Trump's in the middle of all of them.
Okay.
So it's really not that hard. I mean, if you've got a bunch of psychologists and psychiatrists together to talk about the difference between a psychopath and a sociopath, it's like you could have a 3-day conference and nobody would agree on anything. It doesn't matter. The guy's a nut job.
You named your political action committee psychopath.
Psychopath, yeah, because, he's psycho, right? I mean, the front page of our website says, the one thing we know about Donald Trump is that he's effing nuts. And it's like, and it's the simplest point that people have had trouble. The media just can't get its hands around it, won't talk about it because they're afraid about talking about mental health. This isn't about people being depressed and having a bad day. This guy is a wackadoodle.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, you heard him tonight. You heard him tonight. What about, cats being eaten in Ohio?
Yes.
Hey, yeah, right? What, he's saying that his crowds are bigger. He said his crowds a weeks ago.
She really got under his skin.
Oh, she got, it was
great.
He's saying that they're artificially intelligence-generated crowds. It's like, 80,000 people, all with cameras. They all saw these things. He's out of.
Do you think he believes that stuff?
It actually doesn't matter. If he believes it, he's frickin' nuts. Mm-hmm. If he believes that other people are going to believe it, he's freaking nuts, okay? Not even his own people believe it anymore.
When you and Kellyanne split up, he actually, there was a tender moment. He tweeted this, congratulations to Kellyanne Conway on her divorce from her wacko husband, Mr. Kellyanne Conway. Free at last, she has finally gotten rid of the disgusting albatross around her neck. She's a great person and will now be free to lead the kind of life that she deserves, and it will be a great life without the extremely unattractive loser by her side.
It was past his jail time. Did you see my response?
What was your response?
My response was, "Hi, Donald. Nice to see you. Looking forward to seeing you at E. Jean Carroll's trial next month."
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that was 83.3 million on that one.
You spend the money that is contributed to your PAC on billboards, on commercials. You put commercials on Fox News. And that's really, because then that's where he sees them, and that's what really upsets him.
Yeah, because he sits around in his underwear tweeting and watching. We know that. That's what he did for 4 years in the White House.
And you say that as a person who was married to his campaign manager, to his right-hand person.
Yeah, I mean, you know, she was very good at manipulating him. He's very easy to manipulate, okay? And that's what part of my political action committee does. And that's what they were trying to do before this debate. But you can't control him. And it's great, is if you're on the other side, and the Harris campaign has been doing a great job of it, is manipulating him. They're putting up these signs in Philadelphia. It's like, you manipulate him, and then it becomes the other side's problem to control him. They say, Donald, don't talk about cats being eaten. And they what? What does he do? Talks about cats being eaten. Okay? I mean,
yeah,
you know.
He's like a 6-year-old. It really is unbelievable.
Well, you know, actually, it's funny. Somebody tweeted tonight during the debate that, you know, they had the discussion about late-term abortion and post-birth abortion. It's like, well, Kamala Harris aborted a 78-year-old tonight. So Donald Trump did have a point there.
I was speaking with Jane Fonda about Trump and his enemies list, and I feel like you're probably above me on that list.
It's quite possible.
Yeah.
But I was hoping we, you know, maybe bunk together.
Oh, well, you know what? I'm going to be with Jane in a cell. But, you know, yeah, you could...
She's a little old for you?
Nope.
He's right.
No, she's not. But
she looks amazing, isn't it? I mean,
on a serious note, do you have any concern? Because okay, maybe it sounds a little bit outlandish, but also it sounded outlandish. We were like, he's not going to leave the White House. He's going to stay in there. It's like, oh, then he actually did that thing.
Right. Yeah.
These things that sound fantastic turn out to be what actually happens.
Because he is a narcissistic sociopath, and he doesn't believe in anybody other than himself. He doesn't believe in the country. He doesn't believe in any of you. He doesn't believe in the rule of law. He doesn't believe in the Constitution that he would swear to uphold. And he's all about his aggrandizement and putting himself first and revenge. And that's what narcissistic sociopaths do. They seek revenge. And they're obsessed with revenge. They're obsessed with control. They're obsessed with destroying their enemies. And that's Donald Trump, when he becomes president, if he were to become president again, his view is the government's mine. The law is mine. Everything, I'm going to do to everyone else what they would do to me, but I'm smarter than they are. I'm going to do it first, and I'll throw everybody in jail. It's for real. I mean, this isn't just him blowing smoke. This is deeply ingrained in his up head. No, seriously. And you ask I've been talking to psychologists and psychiatrists for years about this, and then they kind of are muted because there's this thing called the Goldwater rule. They're not supposed to diagnose anybody from afar, even though, you know, you can see this guy. There's more evidence about this guy than you could ever collect on any other patient in the world. And, you know, they all agree. He's nuts. He's absolutely a sick man. He's, you know, and even if you took the characteristics, like you did this bit 5 years ago, before I even went on television, about the narcissistic personality disorder and the limits of limits. And there's also antisocial personality disorder, which is about sociopathy. Even if you don't accept that there's a medical diagnosis there to be had, because I'm not a doctor, you're not a doctor, you don't want anybody with those characteristics, and he ticks off every single freaking one of them. You don't want anybody with even half those characteristics to have any control over your life.
George Conway, everybody. You can read George in The Atlantic. He's got a podcast. He's got the whole thing. Thank you for being here.
I got a pack.
And he's got a pack, too. Psychopath
24.
We will be back with Good Neighbors.